So I'd like to call this Bruce County Housing Corporation meeting to order. Does anybody have a declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll go to approval of the minutes of October 6th, 2016, which are attached. Could I have a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Mike, second by Dave. We have approved the minutes of October 6th, 2016. All in favor? Okay. So we have two action items. The first one is the affordable rental unit rent increase.
Thank you. So you will see that we have prepared before you a recommendation that the rent for the affordable units at 757 Wellington be increased by the Ontario 2017 rent guidelines at a 1.5%. Rounded to the lowest dollar, and that would start April 1st, 2017, so that we're now coordinating our affordable rent changes with our social housing RGI rent changes as well. You'll recall that a few months ago, the Housing Services Manager had put a report before you suggesting we do that to save on some administration time and dollars. And so now we will be bringing both of those together. And I'm happy to ask any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Mel? No, I'm just moving. Oh, you're moving? Good. Seconder? Have a seconder? Okay, Dave. And the recommendation basically for the 1.5% increase. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? That carried. And so next we have the 2017 market rent affordable housing recommendation, which is kind of sort of the same. So the recommendation is there. Did you want to point out some highlights, Christine?
I guess just in the recommendation, you'll see too that, again, we're trying to create some consistency across the portfolio. And so there are a few units that have been highlighted where the changes are different than the rent guideline increase of 1.5%, but it is allowable under the Housing Services Act and the Residential Tenancy Act in terms of what we're proposing. And again, it's just to create some consistency and cut down on administration differences.
Any further questions or comments? So could I have a mover and seconder for the recommendation that is there? Moved by Robert, second by Mitch. That we approve the recommendation for the rent increase, market rent for affordable housing as well. All in favor? Any opposed? That carried. And now we have information items. The third quarter 2016 arrears report for housing.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, I'll just highlight that we have in this report as well changed the format a little so that you're able to see a comparison between 2015 as at same period as well as 2016. So you can see by the number of tenants that are owing that staff have been working very hard to reduce the arrears. The difficulty, of course, is as costs increase, the amount of rent or maintenance charges that are outstanding, the actual financial component increases as well, but they are keeping the number of tenants that are in arrears lower than they were at the same period last year.
Are there any questions? Robert?
Actually, this is really good to have that total of $2.5 million and only be in arrears of $69,000. That is really good. But my question is, if there is people that are living in this like geared to income or someplace like that, and they have no money, and they get in arrears, do you just kick them out on the street?
So we have a lengthy policy and procedure that the staff follow with regard to arrears. Tenants under the RGI component are allowed to pay as much as they find to be affordable in terms of repayment, but we can make it as low as 10%, and we do that in some cases. So for example, if your rent is $150 RGI, you would pay $15 a month until the debt was repaid. So there is much opportunity for them to clear their debts. Sometimes because they're lower income, it does take longer. to reach that final payment.
Anything else? So that was for information. And our next meeting is December 1st, 2016, and I need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mike, second by Milt, that we now adjourn. All in favor? None opposed? That carried. Thank you. Thanks, Christine.